What up, hip hop? It's Hippoppington. It's Kim and the crew. And today we have a special guest.
What's up, y'all?
Special?
He is
What's up,
special.
y'all? What's up? You know we special because
It's
we
the
all
one and only
family.
Molly G, Def Squad.
That's what's up,
Def
y'all.
Squad
But
representative.
before he
Alright.
became Def Squad, we got to start from the very beginning of
Right.
where you came from,
All
where
right.
you got started, because your story is incredibly
Start over.
dope.
He's got a really, really, really great
I want to start
story.
from the beginning. Like, I want to know, like, you know, how'd you first get started? Like, I know some of the history with Left Eye. Like, how did she select you? Like, you know, all
Start
that.
from the beginning.
All right, I was in a group called Hit and Run. Me, my man, Cy Scott, Sequel, out of Philadelphia.
He's also incredible. We got to get Side Scott up here.
Yeah.
Does he live in Atlanta?
I'm definitely
Yes.
here in the A.
Yes.
Okay.
We performing tomorrow, Coalition DJs.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, Magic City, 3 to 10.
Oh. The strip club?
Magic City.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right,
I've
so
never been in there.
I met Left Eye when I was 11. We rap, sing, dance. I sung a song to her. I went into like a placement for about some years, about 2 years. Got
What's a
out.
placement? What do you mean? Because we
Like
we
a
also.
juvenile.
Oh, okay. I was talking
Yeah,
about
like-
record placement. I was like, we got to always educate the youth.
Yeah, I was in a juvenile institution. I took a gun to school when I was 10 years old. Got kicked out of all public schools. Then I went to the Baptist school in Philly. Then I went to a placement and psychiatric wards. Got out, went to Georgia, met her, and got a record deal.
Wow.
I was straight out the psych ward in the game.
Wow.
That shit was crazy. But you know, my first record, The Untold Truth, I had never had a demo. So those records that you heard from Head of Gut, We Gets Busy, Illegal Will Rock, Crumb Snatcher, Stick 'Em Up, all of those were my first raps that I ever wrote, and they came out to the people. And my second raps was, you know, in between that time. Then I got my Rowdy deal again for.
Don't go before your first raps, because
My
in one of
solo
those
album.
first raps, actually, that's when you had a platinum, right?
No, I had a Billboard Award, Best
Okay,
Rap Single of the Year.
When?
1994, Illegal, We Gets
You
Busy.
like
Thanks
pretty
to
much
Eric
just
Sermon.
came out, you know
Right.
what I mean, and just
Thanks
went
to Eric
platinum.
Sermon. I've been on 7 million records by the grace of God.
Wow.
From Redman, Eric Sermon, Red and Meth, Biggie, Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes, all of that.
You going so fast, because I just want everybody just to slow down, because the reason why we have this show is because we need to let these youth know that
Right.
there was people whose shoulders they had to stand on, you know what I
Right.
mean, to get to where they are today. And
Right.
all the obstacles in which you had to jump and hurdles you had to go through, they don't today. You know, many
Wow.
of them don't. But for you to be like all these different artists, like, you know, how did you
It's a
even
blessing.
started dealing with like so many different artists that they mess with you? Like, no matter where you go, from LA to Philly to New York, like, who was
Right.
you? You know what I mean?
I guess I just had like the when you got to connect that can get you to the people. Like for instance, Left Eye put me on. So
Right.
when I was with Lisa, Snoop had called, Tupac. I was talking to them guys before they was even label mates.
Wow.
I told Snoop that I was coming to LA pretty soon once my music had got started, and I did. We linked up. That's
Okay.
how Malik got on Pump Pump with Snoop on a Doggy Style record. That went like 4 million.
Wow.
And like, you know, even knowing Tupac and being around him, those were blessings that came earlier on from me just being around Lisa, and then Eric Sermon, then, you know, Redman, and then, you know, Dallas Austin's, Busta Rhymes, everybody who came into the alignment was just like, it was divine.
Right.
Wow. Right.
It was divine.
So you were how old when you first
13,
heard yourself like on the radio?
13, 14.
And you were already here in Georgia?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because my great-grandmother, she had a house out here for like 40 years. They was out here since back in the day. And we always had a place here, but when I came back to Georgia, I actually came just to be with my guardian, who was Virginia Stoudemire. She passed, but she had turned me over to the States, and there was nothing that the city of Pennsylvania, Philly, and the state of Pennsylvania could do. So I had to go to my guardian at the age of 11, and by the grace of God, I had already met Left Eye prior to that flight. So when I got here, I called LaFace Records, left a message. She came and got me, and the rest was like bam, bam, bam. Jermaine Dupri, Run DMC, L.A. Reid, then Dallas.
So, because you are really, really talented, and
Thank
you've
you.
had to have
Thank
known
you.
that for
Thank
your
you.
whole life, basically. So, the connection that you made were because you were really young and really talented. So,
Right.
when you go
Yes.
into like 1994, 3,
Right.
tell them about. There was a boom of young MCs.
Yes, it was.
There were a few groups that came out around that time that there was Crisscross.
You had the Youngsters, you
And the
had
Youngsters,
Crisscross, you had
you guys illegal.
Illegal. Then there was a group called Quo. You had ABC that dropped prior to
Right.
that.
Right.
The Family.
Right.
It was a bunch of good artists that
Were
was
y'all
coming up
unified
young.
at the time though? Like even though those
Like I had no problems. Even Chi Ali.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Chi Ali, too.
I had no problems with no rappers. Like I said something about Chi Ali for the simple fact that Malik had a problem with him. I think Malik was like scared of him, and being that, you know, Chi and them was from the same, they drunk the same water that I drunk. So I felt like it wasn't really nothing to just say what's on your mind.
Right.
But he took it to the next level with the Crisscross stuff and Jermaine Dupri and all of that.
Philly
Like,
as a whole though,
he was crazy.
Right.
Movement of MCs that's just
What up, Malik?
ridiculous.
Thank you. Yep. It's
So
like,
where's
I
Malik?
don't know that dude, man. He's in South Carolina. Last I heard, he was in jail, and I hope he's out. I'm gonna check up on him because I got some projects that I want to, you know,
Yeah.
bring him in on.
That's dope.
So we need a Def Squad reunion.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
need the whole Def Squad to
I
get
would
back
love to do
together.
that.
How did you come into the fold Death Squad? Like I know you here, you know what I mean, and you my brother, of course, but it's like I just embrace my people just as they come in and don't even know
Yo.
where they
With
coming
their
in.
story
Yeah,
is,
like
right.
it's just like
All right.
a little Mola G's here. And it's like
This-
you're really the only person,
this
in my
is-
opinion, that was an actual Death Squad member. Like
Right.
I'm not saying those who don't rep us or who say, you know,
Right.
or whatever, but I mean who was actually a viable source, who came in, who had
Right.
records, you know what I mean, who we can be like,
Thank you.
that's one of our spitters right
All
there.
right, this is how it was. I had met Redman at he had came to the warehouse. I went to a show, came to the hotel. I was with Left Eye. I invited Redman to the crib, and I told him I was like, yo, I'm with her. And he instantly came. He was like, nigga, if she there, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So he came there. He met her. I'm sure he went down and told E, like, yo, I was out in Atlanta with these little niggas and Left Eye and boom, boom, boom.
Right.
So by the time Eric came, and
Because he was cool with Left Eye. I remember
yeah,
that. I
when
remember
Eric
going
met
to the
her, like
hotel.
they was damn playing pianos together
I
and shit
remember.
like that. Like I woke up and them motherfuckers was in love.
Wow.
But it was I remember Andre Rison found that shit out. That nigga was mad than a motherfucker. I fucked around and slipped up and said that shit. But we had a fun life, like just being around each other as youngsters. You know, Lisa opened up the crib. It wasn't nothing she wouldn't do. She cooked me damn shrimp lasagnas, bought drum sets, clothes.
Wow.
And she
Like
was
your mother.
she was a mother to a lot of people's sister. I remember Naughty by Nature did Hip Hop Hooray video. She wanted him to have an X with Naughty by Nature, just like this Def Squad emblem is in there. Mm-hmm. She carved it in there on her own and then broidered it, and it came out perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like hours, chest over the damn display counter, doing this, making hats, sewing hats, sending them out there to a lot of artists. And you know, she had a lot of love from a lot of people that was
Yeah,
out
she
here.
did. Yeah.
Like so
Word.
unknown that one of them first, since we're so big on merchandising today and everybody, you know, is becoming their own,
Right.
you know, merchandise mogul. But
Very
for her to have
creative.
done that back then, you know,
Word.
and making clothes back then, like we pay homage to, you know, of course, you know, the Carl Kanaz, the, you know, the April Walkers, you know, and those of thus far. But like
Right.
Left Eye was one of those.
Yeah.
back then.
Right.
But
She,
she-
was definitely a fashion icon.
Absolutely.
TLC as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was very
I
creative.
think that
They
they
were
gave her
very
some, but
creative
not
with their
enough.
style.
Not enough
Yep.
to be like during that culture and what she, you know, brought to this movement.
Mm-hmm.
And even those who made, you know, look at us today and was following her on that level was like, yeah, you know, they doing what she was doing,
Yeah,
but we just
Lisa
didn't
was-
acknowledge it in that
Word.
way.
I heard you on Instagram.
Right.
You did a live video and you told a story, and I was just like, oh my God. You said you didn't like Tupac when you first met him.
Well, yeah, he had disrespected Lisa. And he was like, yo, if this bitch come near me again, shoot this bitch.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, if I'm a
Yeah.
pro Left Eye, like,
Right. You right.
it took
She
me
was
by
like
storm.
raised
So
you.
I was like, yo, you tripping off of this nigga? And you know what I mean? We walked away. But overall, like, I loved his style.
Right.
And I loved who he is. His family is my family. Sekawa, Napoleon, even Fatal, rest in peace.
Right.
Edie.
Right.
All of them are my fam, regardless to that. Yeah, you know, like even from just being out here, Castro, we share a valuable friendship. So, like, yeah, I didn't, but you gotta love who he is, regardless. And then I grew up and I had those type of situations with a woman that I deal with in love. So I was able to really recognize where he was coming from. Like in the heat of the moment, you say anything out this
That
motherfucker.
sounds
Right.
dope. let's get back into like the game today.
Right.
Like, what do you feel about these young MCs today? Not even just the young MCs, but your veteran MCs. Like the difference in the balance of the fact that, you know, we struggle today, and it's like, will they also embark on that same struggle when they get older, and do they realize
Because
that?
do they have? I mean, like I said, back in the '90s, there was a bunch of young people, so they saw a value in that, even like to Bow Wow and all of that. I don't see that anymore. Do you think that you guys and your deals and the, you know, the legal aspect of the situation made people turn away from like the child prodigy type rappers and singers like they did back in the 90s?
I just feel like if right now it's a time where they want young artists because young artists have longevity. The game wants you to become a commodity right now. They want you to do a lot of footwork. You know what I mean?
There's such a stigma on our culture today. It's like if you're not young, like no other culture looks at or genre says, "Oh, you're too old to do it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you want to come out today, it's like you got to come out like the OG do. Like why just can't come out like the MC who still write rhymes, still got bars, you know,
I mean,
still
you can.
do music.
You
But
can't
it's
J.
not
Cole
accepted
doing it.
as, we got a few. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always letting a few through the door.
Right.
Like
Kendrick
there's a whole
doing
bunch
it.
of MCs
And
that's
they're
like
still really
yourself
young.
that's
Right,
just
thank
dope,
you.
and it's just sitting there pinning it all day.
Yeah,
But we're getting
yep.
a couple of people and we're saying, okay, but no, they don't have to settle with a couple. Why should we? Like, where is this movement at? How are we going to take this culture and this game back to where it's 20, 30 of us it's them?
I think niggas got to get on the same business ethics that these young men is on. Like, I really love the music, period. Like, it's just look at how disco came into the game.
Right.
When,
We
like,
talked about that.
Barry White and all of them was running it. I feel like that's like the change. You hear Molly Percocet, this, that, and the other, dance, have fun, do drugs. That's the same as disco music. You know, and it's a lot of hip hop artists that feel like, damn, we don't represent that. But, you know, in order to get into that type of, you know what I mean, industry and bust through the door, they might have to submit, but that's not really true. Yeah. Just stick to your guns, do what you got to do. Be like all the real hip hop artists that's out here, you know what I mean, that's holding their shit down. And you know what I mean?
But if there was some form of division, not to cut you off, we would be able to say you could come in because, like you said, disco was a form of the music that was birthed through rock and roll came in. You know, when rock and roll came in, we don't know how long it took for heavy metal to say, well, we got to be something else. Or soft rock had to come in and say, well, we got to be something else. We only 40 years young. So right now we crying over hip-hop and we holding, you know, hip-hop at its high regard. But sooner or later, this evolution is going to open up. We have to see that that's how music is always done. You know, rock and roll was just rock and roll. At what point did, like I say, heavy metal have to come in because they was like, we're not going to call that rock and roll. It's not. We're not going to call that heavy metal. It's not. We're not going to. It's like gospel.
Niggas got to just break ground.
And you write gospel music. I just know you're an all-around writer.
I do. I write gospel music. I can't wait to get one out there.
So are you marketing yourself as a songwriter to people? Like,
not yet, but that's definitely what I want to do. Like, I want to do that in some acting and then just do what I got to do. Like, me as an MC, I know that, you know, I want to do something. I have a vision. I want to drop these albums. I want to put some artists out myself.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I want to get into this acting real soon. I want to write movies, scripts, whatever, and I want to also write some R&B and some gospel records and EDM, whatever it is. I just want to show my full self. You know what I mean?
Do you think that the game of piggybacking still exists? You know, because when we were all coming up, it was like E had to have an album now in order to put Reddy and Keith on it. You know what I mean? Like, do you think that still exists and it's still prevalent the way it needs to be done, or no?
I mean, sometimes
and they're just connecting with groups and they're coming and they're formulating a squad that, you know.
A lot of people is becoming commodities. So when you got these big time executives / rappers and they watching Instagram and watching who got the most hits and who's doing what, who's making noise, they go ahead on and you know what I mean, gravitate towards them, pull them on. And so, yeah, people going to start co-signing more. But basically, like I say, you got to become a commodity. Yeah. And that's all it is. It's just becoming a commodity and busting through these doors and letting people know that, look, you still exist regardless. I don't give a fuck if you get 10 hits, 10 views.
There's an advantage and a disadvantage. But we as the veterans have to start taking advantage of the social media. We can go get these same million followers of our own people, but we're not. And
we need to market ourselves and promote ourselves more on social media.
Exactly.
Because we are also on social media as much as our children.
You're right.
And we're
I know I am.
Oh yeah.
Now I am.
Right. Why she got 1 million followers? Because they're out there putting this work in, and they let people know who they are, and they're saying follow me, and they got their kids stepping on. You know, so the same voice they got, we have it too. Right. And your voice has already been
branded. Thank you. Yep.
So is there anybody that you specifically want to work with? Because at A3C in Atlanta every year we have that, but last year specifically, I saw you on stage
with boot camp.
That's her favorite in the world.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yo, boot camp has always been fam. I talk to Buck all day about doing music. Me and Mike Hands just recently did something from the boot camp clique.
Shout out to Mike Hands. Mike
Yup,
Hands.
shout out to
definitely
Mike
dope.
Hands. Me and Black Thought did a joint called Gladiator.
Did
From
you?
the Roots. Me, Black Thought, Bubonic from Philly's Most Wanted, EST from 3 Times Dope.
3 times dope.
Yeah.
Yep,
EST,
Sieg was
the
supposed to get on
magnificent
there.
one.
Yeah, I just
I
seen
hope
The greatest man alive.
I hope Sieg get on there, but he was supposed to get on there. As far as collaborations, I've been doing a lot of collaborations with a lot of artists. Me and Eric Sermon and Corrupt got a song that's unreleased. Me, Keith Murray, and Redman got a song that's
What?
unreleased that's already recorded. I have records. It's just all in what we gonna do. So now I'm working with E, and we basically gonna put some things down. I just did a new joint called Packed Up. I'm working slow, and you know, God willing, everything happens right. It just gotta stay prayed up, stay in the right lane. Don't bring no bullshit to the game. Everything good.
Absolutely.
I'm loving your spirit right now. Like I just like to hear
Yes,
people
I need
talk and
everybody
have
to catch
conversation.
on to this spirit.
Yeah.
Everybody
Right.
that's out there that still wants to come back out, that
Yeah.
needs promotion, whatever, holla at us. We'll
Yeah.
help you out
Yeah.
with your social media, but we definitely need to get that presence felt.
But support each other. Like
Support
we need
each
to
other.
make sure
That's
we
right.
support each other and stop just looking at the youth and going, "Ill, they suck." You
Right.
know what I mean? And then
Promote
playing
what
our,
you love,
our
all
back in
day.
the days
what you
albums.
hate.
All
Yes,
day.
our albums do resonate, but these artists today,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're still able to put these records out, and you're sitting right here as
Right.
as proof. You know
Thank
that.
you.
You know your resume is incredible. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So why should
Thank
you
you,
have to
Queen.
stop? You know.
And-
Yeah, no,
and-
it ain't no stopping.
Give everybody your Instagram so that they
Oh,
can follow
yeah,
you, because
it's-
your Instagram lives are kind of dope because you
Thank you,
freestyle.
thank you. It's at
You gonna
Marley
freestyle
G.
for us?
Yeah, I definitely do that.
Because this is Hippoppington. So.
Yes.
It's at
And we
Marley
finally
G.
got an MC in the building.
Word.
Right.
It's at Marley G Def Squad. It's at MALLYGDEFSQUAD. Follow me on Instagram. You know what I mean? Check out my lives. I'll be going in a little
Yeah,
bit.
he does. Yeah, he does.
Little
no
comedy,
idea.
little this, that, and the other.
So what's your style for songwriting? Is it inspired by events, or do you like sit down and just go off of the dome and then, you know, just build off that? Or do you?
Sometimes it's events. Sometimes it's just how the beat make you feel. It depends. It depends on what the beat's saying. Like when you first hear that music, you know what you want to do. You know what I mean?
The
You know
beat
what
inspires you.
What's
The
your
beat
best
always
beats
is-
though? Because like you know, I used to rhyme back in the days, and you used to. And here's the crazy thing: we used to be in the house. Remember all of us in the house, Jazzy, Faye, everybody in the house and on
My
Hope
best
Court.
beats is E. Sermon beats.
And no, not the beats. Just you know, like when you, I'm talking about like the style of it. Like, is it airy? Is it open? Is it grimy? Is it like I used to? The reason why I was the biggest
Oh,
grimy.
Wu-Tang
wow.
fan
I would say
because it was
definitely
so
grimy.
dark and dirty,
I
and it
say
was
I
like
like that. I'm 50-50. I like the grimy, but I like the light. I like the light and the dark
Yeah.
because I can spit the hard shit, but then
Yeah.
you got that part of me that just want to make real records for.
I like real records. But I'm a
for-
real
for
fan of the
people that-
grimy.
that
like,
can-
I like
that
the
can listen to
griminess.
'em.
I like
so
the griminess
nasty,
of
yeah.
the 90s.
It's
You know
like,
what it
yes.
is.
That's why I
That
love
like
boot
I'm in the
camp
cut, I'm
That's
in the
right.
grind. Like I gotta help me get out. You know what I mean?
Right, like you
that,
just want to turn
that,
it.
that
you
energy.
just transform into that thug that
That's
I
right.
always, knew
I always
you
say
were.
that it's the conversation. Like it's either you make them dance or cry. Like it's your truth or your pain. You know, like
That's
we
right.
listen to records and some of the records are so deep and we dancing on them. You know what I mean? Because that's what that's what resonates. Like it's all
Right.
in the conversation. If I can't hear a convo, then I just can't get into it.
That's what's up. We gonna
gotta have a
freestyle. We gonna get in. What
Yeah.
beat we
Yeah.
got?
Well, in this with a
Yeah,
freestyle.
yeah, yeah,
Freestyle.
Wait.
That sounds good.
yeah. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to beatbox or anything. DJ Samore is in the building. Do you have a beat for us,
So,
DJ
hey,
Samore?
yeah, can we get a
do it with your
beat?
mouth, or can you or
Nah,
use your
just-
hand
shit.
on the
Nobody knows how
table?
to beatbox in this house?
Hey, y'all want something? We don't need no beatbox.
Okay,
Y'all
go
just
ahead,
want
go
something?
ahead, go ahead.
All right, I said this. I say call it all cars. Send the National Guard with tanks. I'm popping it out with cops outside the bank. Since back in the day, I was brought up live to cause chaos. Fuck being locked like them niggas on Oz. Got on some now or die. Married my Mac like T-Boz. Anybody can catch it, taking no sides. Bitch niggas best run now and take hide. It's you and I'm taking your prize and your pride. Nobody can slow maul or haul a long ride. I won't cry cause I tried. The strong survive. I'm going with the chips is at. I got the clips in the strap. With this pistol I slap those who try to resist the jack. Bitch niggas where your heart at. Slingshot, shorts, Timbs and hard hat. I'm reconstructing this world of rap. From all you got is hardcore rhymes for y'all. Got big balls for jaws. I'm quick draw McGraw when it come to raising that 4-4. Alright, let's
Y'all hear
go.
this?
Thank you, yo.
Y'all hear this? Can your favorite rapper do that for
Yo,
over
thank
20
you.
years? Can they? Can they?
Yo, thank you, yo.
Yo,
Alright.
I had to
woo,
stop you
I
because you
almost
give him
fell.
too much.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
can't give him
don't
too
give
much.
him too much.
Save something for the album. So you got a
That's
show
what's
coming
up.
up,
I didn't
huh?
even say something for the album.
Yes,
Just like,
tomorrow-
make people show and prove, get up and freestyle.
Tomorrow is at the strip club?
Yeah, tomorrow, Magic City.
Oh.
Hey, y'all at the strip club. Everybody in Atlanta.
It's
goes to
Coalition DJs. You know how they do it. Future came to the last one. Migos
Oh.
performed. This one, Rich Homie Quan is on the bill. Scotty ATL. Me, my man, Cy Scott.
Oh, I must come through.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be real big. It's gonna be a lot of people that you be like, these niggas is here.
Right.
For real, that shit gonna be. You be like, damn, it's Instagram time,
I'm
it's
so
live
glad that y'all
time.
still have the platform that you created, you know what I mean, to be able to stand on, because it's just, appalling to me sometimes when they come out and, you
Right.
you at the gates, and it's like, why y'all outside the gates? Like, do
Right.
they know who y'all
Right.
are?
Right.
That's
there
why
should be
I was
no
so
veteran
glad
that
to
can't
see
get
you
into
at
no
A3C.
party or no club,
Thank
but
you.
these socialites
Thank
can
you,
come
babe.
and get in places. Like,
Right.
there should be nothing that you can't step into when it comes to this game
You're
called
right.
hip hop.
There
It
shouldn't.
shouldn't be.
There
You're right.
shouldn't.
And we
And-
working on that.
And I'm so glad, like you said, Future
Thank
and
you.
all of them is showing love and respect.
Oh
and they
yeah,
know
I used
who
to live
you
in
are.
Kirkwood with Future, man. By the grace of God, he knows that's my buddy. You know what I mean? That's my man. So he's a good
Again,
dude.
he knows everybody.
Yeah, he
Man,
does.
By the grace
Yeah,
of
he
God.
does.
By the grace of God.
And it's just not talking. Like, I've visually seen you with these people,
Right.
and on said documentaries and other things. I'm like,
Thank
they go
you.
Jamal, they go Maul, like, and it's, they mess with you because you're real.
And now it's time to just capitalize off of the accolades that we dropped and do something new. So that's why I thank y'all for bringing me here at this podcast, because this is the start.
You
of
can come back
everything.
whenever you want. Use us and to promote. If you got
Yeah.
something going on, let us
Definitely.
know and
Yeah.
come through. Because even when we have another interview or whatever, we still like to have our crew with us.
That's
so
what's
if
up.
there's somebody you want to come.
Def Squad,
Shout out
Def
to
Rugs.
Def
I'm looking
Squad.
at these
Shout out to
rugs
Def
right
Rugs.
now. Looking good. Looking great.
All right.